Hi guys, it's me Giovanni. And today I didn't want to make a video yesterday because either I was too scared to, or if I just didn't want to, or if I just didn't have enough energy. But I do, but right now I feel kind of bored. But I wanted to talk about well, if you might know, possibly in Michigan in 1983 by Cecilia Condic, then you might know of her stories, her little short films. Of course, possibly in Michigan became the most popular video. But there's also Not a Jealous Bone in 1987 and Beneath the Skin in 1981. There's other films such as Suburbs of Eden, 1996, Annie Lloyd, 2008, and Little Spirits, 2005. But my favorites are the sort of anthology trilogy that also stars in Jill Sands. And possibly in Michigan, she portrays a girl named Sharon who is stalked by a cannibal. Jill Sands in Not a Jealous Bone plays a younger woman, possibly the main character's mother or daughter, or just someone random that the main character, Sophie, kills. And Beneath the Skin, where she just, I'm not sure, maybe she was the one that narrated the story, or played one of the characters. Who knows? But they're in sort of an anthology trilogy, something like that. But some people thought that this was a trilogy based on the character of Sharon, where in Beneath the Skin, Sharon tells the story about a girl who was murdered by her boyfriend or someone. That was based on a real story, based from Cecilia's own experience. Which honestly, I would just feel bad for her. And what I find funny is that Cecilia's not into horror movies, which is fine. I mean, I do understand that people can be sensitive towards horror, and that's totally fine. But she created these little horror movies, and I'm surprised by it. And I'm surprised that she made them in different decades, the 1980s, 1990s, and early 2000s, and recently in the 2010s and 2020. With the last video being in 2021, just two years ago. But as I was saying for the anthology trilogy, of course, people know possibly in Michigan, and to be honest, I like it as well. So the story of possibly in Michigan, as you might know, is about two girls, Sharon and her best friend Janice. And they're stalked by a cannibal named Arthur. Apparently, three of them have the two same interests: violence and perfume. And the iconic song on TikTok is from Possibly in Michigan, where Janice talks to Sharon about her mom's crazy sister Kate, that reminds her of the perfume that she's smelling, and telling Sharon that Kate was so crazy that perfume smelled so good that Kate probably should have been that crazy. And Sharon doesn't think so. But Janice tells Sharon that one time Kate put her her dog, in a microwave oven. And Sharon probably thinks that she ate the dog. But Janice quickly tells her no, and then says that Kate put her dog in the microwave oven to dry it, but it exploded and they both died. And then they go on to say she must have been out of her head. And then the song pops up, which is pretty iconic. But there's other iconic songs in the video, including Not a Jealous Bone, which is now my personal favorite film to watch. I mean, they're just short films, but if they were actual movies, then Not a Jealous Bone would be my favorite. It's horrifying, but in a way, it's something. It's heartwarming and poetic. Not as Jealous Bone has an old lady named Sophie, our main character, whose mother had a legacy of finding a magical bone that grants them youth, but apparently her mother became selfish and vain. So, Sophie decided to look for her mother after Sophie found a magical bone herself. So, she finds her mother to hope one day that they'll share it together. But apparently, when she finds her mother, or someone who is supposed to be her mother, the young woman, played by Jo Sands, like I said earlier in the video, she tells Sophie to give her the bone. Sophie refuses, so a little tackle ensues, which then Sophie retakes the bone for herself and kills the young woman in self-defense, which Sophie is shocked by what she just done. And it's mostly speculated that the young woman is in fact her mother. Sophie decides, at first wanted to keep the bone, but she decides to throw it away, knowing that she doesn't want to end up like her mother, and that the legacy was bone deep, like the bone itself. So, in a montage, or sort of a montage, she takes a shower, and then after she takes a shower, she gets dressed. She gets dressed in a really nice outfit that in a way really suits her, and it really suits the time period. The fabric and the colors really scream 1980s, and the design of it as well. We then later see her throw the bone away and dance, finally free from the magical bone that she wished to accomplish in the first place. Now knowing that she doesn't care about her age, she just wants to live her life to the fullest, dancing at first at a concert and at the beach. Which honestly, you go, Sophie. We love you. And the movie ends. Of course, my two favorites are, of course, the Not a Jealous Bone, and possibly in Michigan. Possibly in Michigan became the most iconic thing that Cecilia has ever done in her life, and became iconic on TikTok as well. However, Not a Jealous Bone is probably one poetic film that feels like a horror movie similar to the two other films, Beneath the Skin and Possibly in Michigan. And Geoscience has commented on mostly Not a Jealous Bone about the Possibly in Michigan movie to almost everyone who's commented about it, and loves connecting with everyone who talks to her, which is really sweet. And besides, Jill and Cecilia are possibly still friends till this day, which I think is really sweet. And besides, Jill looks fabulous. She's fabulous. Actually, since I usually do my videos at 15 minutes long, let me just, you know that I'm gonna bring up my character into this, right? Yep, I am. So, in Possibly in Michigan, the first were known about Jill Sand's character, Sharon. Sharon is wearing a white dress. And that made me think a lot about my dress the dress that I have for Quinzel, her default dress, which is I now have a name for it, called White Spring or Fall. White Spring, White Fall. She wears it in the spring and she wears it in the fall, autumn. She doesn't wear it in the summer or in the winter. She would wear something else. And for the most part, Quinzel wears white, a reflection of her innocence, since white is pretty symbolic of that. And originally the dress was too plain, so I decided to add a little silver, as you can see beneath her collar, the Peter Pan collar, a little silver medallion, or silver brooch. And realistically, it would look like a flower. And, okay. So about my character, all of her outfits in this album that I have, her outfits are based on 1960s clothing, or at least I attempted to. She mostly wears dresses, never ever pants, no pants. She wears dresses, stockings, Mary Janes, or ballet flats, either long sleeved or short sleeved, Peter Pan colors, accessories like medallions, jewelry, necklaces, and hair bows, or ribbons, and gloves. Sometimes. She either has her orange hair in a ponytail or down. She originally had long hair, like down to her knees, but she cut it off for more natural hair, more medium length, to also fit the fact that even if she had a ponytail, she would let her hair down, exposing it for this hair length. Isn't she pretty? Quinzel's appearance is mostly the same from any other decade that I put her in. She has orange hair, pale white skin that seems porcelain, light blue eyes, and nose freckles. Those are supposed to be nose freckles. And by the way, since she wears dresses, she also wears tops and skirts. And like I said, she never wears pants.